Hello and welcome to my mobility and Pilates video for breaking down Swan as related to the Pilates Shapes My Practice challenge on Instagram. So we're going to start with breathing, which is so essential but hard to control in this very advanced exercise. So we're going to start in child's pose. With the rib cage resting on the thighs, you're forced to try to take your breath more into the side and back of the thoracic spine. So as you inhale, you're going to inhale into the side of the rib cage, expanding as far out as you can. And as you exhale, trying to pick the abdominals up off the thighs without actually lifting up out of your child's pose. Keep working your breath into the side and back of your rib cage, down into your lower thoracic, and exhaling, trying to pick the abdominals up off of the thighs, engaging the abdominals and pulling the rib cage down and towards your waist. Continue this breathing, expanding both the inhale and the exhale as far as possible in both directions. Try to keep using this breath work as we start to move into more movements and as you do the swan. So we're going to round the back and then open the chest and come down onto the elbows. Elbows lined up underneath the shoulders, hands in line with the elbows. Shoulder blades are pulled open, so the chest is coming towards the floor. And we're going to segmentally try to flex the lumbar only into cat and then segmentally arch into cow. As you pull the sit bones towards the knees and round the lumbar up towards the ceiling, keep pulling the shoulder blades back and your chest towards the floor. As you start to reverse that and reach the tailbone and sit bones up towards the ceiling, segmentally extending each lumbar vertebrae, think about pushing the elbows and the mat away. So you're thinking about doing almost the opposite in the thoracic spine in order to isolate lumbar flexion extension. Continue pulling the sit bones, leading with the tailbone, sacrum follows, and then each lumbar vertebrae flexing, and then reversing that. Tailbone, sit bone leads, sacrum follows, and then each lumbar vertebrae extending. Great, so we're going to start integrating a little bit more legs and arms, but we're still going to try to segmentally move through each vertebrae. So starting at the tailbone, reach the tailbone, sit bones towards the knees. Start pushing the legs back away from your arms. Keep segmenting each vertebrae into flexion and then reach the hips forward. So now you're extending the hips and extending each vertebrae into extension. If your neck allows, go ahead and bring your neck into extension, not dropping the head back, but extending the chin up towards the ceiling, and then reverse that. Starting at the head, bring chin to the chest, and then try to segmentally flex each vertebrae, going through the scapula area, the rib cage area, the lower thoracic into the lower, and you're now pulling the knees towards your chest and open the chest and return to the elbows. Let's do that again. Take an inhale before you go and draw the tailbone, sit bones towards the knees. Push the legs away, round each vertebrae into flexion. Keep pushing the legs away, bring the hips forward and start extending from the lumbar through each rib into the shoulder blade area. Chest and head are the last to lift. Remember, you're not dropping your head back, but lifting up in the front of the neck and then reverse from the head down through the shoulder blade areas, through each rib, into that low thoracic, into the lumbar, pushing the legs away, still flexing that spine. Try to flex each vertebrae, not just one area. Great, now we're going to get into our full spine extension from the head down. So chin's gonna lead up, every vertebrae is extending all the way up, press through your arms, shoulders away from your ears, and then starting at the head again, chin to the chest, shoulder blade area, rib by rib, flexing, lower thoracic, lumbar, trying to get that even flexion through the whole spine, and then Bring your elbows down, pulling your neck into extension, chest follows, shoulder blades follow, rib cage lifts, and you're all the way up in your extension. And then again, leading from the head, chin to the chest. Chest presses the floor away, rounding each vertebrae. Try to round each vertebrae one at a time, trying not to let everybody go all at the same time. And let's segmentally pull ourselves back up into extension one more time, pressing the floor away at the top, feeling the abs lift and come all the way back down. Prone, forehead on the mat. Have the hands still by the rib cage. Engage the abdominals, take an inhale and try to lift the abdominals up into the lower back. Then contracting
and again, leading with the neck into our
upper
back
together.
extension. So trying to keep the lower rib cage on the mat, we're going to use our hands to press up as high as we can, keeping the rib cage down, abs lifting up into the lumbar trying to stay lifted, and then release our hands and see if we can keep that upper thoracic extension. So we're going to press, lift, feel the chest up towards the ceiling, and then take our hands off and hold. As much as possible, try to keep the legs down, otherwise the lumbar tends to take over. Repeat 5 to 10 times and actually try to hold without the hands a little bit longer than I'm demonstrating here.
All right, great. So we're going to move on to some spine extension stretches. These are challenging, but they are a prerequisite because Swan utilizes a lot of global spine extension. So I'm going to show a couple different versions to do these stretches in. The same technique applies to both. Choose the one that's most appropriate for you within your hip and spine ranges. The first one is in a puppy pose, as known in yoga, or basically your chest is as close as possible to the floor. And the second position is very similar, but the spine extension is up on a wall, so you can be more upright and less impact down into the spine. So choose whatever works best for you, and you're just going to get into these positions and breathe for about a minute. Then you're going to contract the front side. So the side that's stretching, you're going to try to press that into the floor or the wall for about 10 seconds. And they're going to see if you can lift up off of the floor or the wall, which you won't be able to really, but you're thinking about doing that. So you're increasing that thoracic extension. You'll notice that I creep a little bit closer to the wall when that happens. And then you're just going to repeat that 3 to 5 times. Contracting the abdominals, pressing into the wall or the floor for 10 seconds, and then trying to extend 10 more seconds. So basically you're working both sides of the spine. So now that we've addressed the spine, it's time to move down to the hips and work on some hip extension. If you'd like to join me for the remaining mobility drills and exercises to help you improve and progress your Swan, be sure to use the links below and check out my video library. Thanks for watching and see you next time.